How's it going? It's Bishop here for Tactical POV. And with this video here, guys, I'm bringing to you, man, this is an instructional video that I use. And I just had an idea as far as things that I want to bring to my channel here involving concealed carry of different scenarios, different situations that we find ourselves in every single day. Okay, and it's just some more situational awareness stuff that if you don't think about it, maybe you do. But there's some other things that I want to bring out into bring into the light as far as getting people to understand exactly how important it is to be prepared for as many situations as you can, because there is no perfect situation at all. And the best way to be prepared to basically, when it's time to perform, to either protect your life or your family's life or someone else's life, it comes with practice, training, and just constantly over and over and over again. And also understanding situational awareness, our surroundings. The biggest thing that people take for granted is our surroundings. I use these videos here in my courses as far as for concealed carry, because I teach my concealed carry course with a lot of situational awareness stuff. Okay. This is how I bring it to other people, to other students, to where it is in the genre of concealed carry. So with the course, the basics of safety and everything else like that. But I want to put a lot of things on people's mind to understand. And basically, the video I'm going to show you here is from John Carrera's channel, Active Self-Protection. I'm not sure if you know. If you know that channel, go check it out, subscribe to it. It is an awesome channel, and I wish I could get video footage that he gets. So a lot of his stuff I look at and I use, it's like, man, this stuff is amazing. A lot of video surveillance cameras and stuff in different places, so all over the place he gets it. So it's amazing how he brings it up to it. But this one here in particular, because I'm such an advocate about making sure that you have a round in the chamber ready to go at all times. So when you carry concealed, you must have your firearm ready to go. Any instructor out there that is not teaching you this, I'm telling you right now, he is, for one, not a good instructor, and two, he is going to get you killed if a situation ever arises to where your weapon is not chambered and ready to go. It's going to get you killed flat out. Okay, it's a very bad instructor. When you step into this world of concealed carry, you have to understand this is a life-changing thing that you are stepping into. If you've never carried concealed before, now you are exercising your Second Amendment right, 100% for it, 100% for the training that goes along with it that you should be getting. Never assume. Stuff like this here, yes, you need to be prepared as much as possible. So with that being said, let me bring this over for you and get this here started, and watch this video, because I'm gonna make some commentary about it. If you stick with me, there's some things I'm going to point out, and I'm going to back on top of what he says and how he describes things that go on in here. And there's some other things that he didn't point out that I see, that I point out to my students on this. All right, so pay attention close. I'm gonna give you some visual too. If you're watching the video from my podcast now, but come over and watch the video, then I'm gonna show you some visual stuff too. A few things to be aware of.
This restaurant is about to get robbed, and we may not know exactly where it's from, but we are going to find out that this guy right here is a concealed carrier, has a gun on his person. We have audio. Let's listen in.
As you see, just pay attention to the surroundings in this situation here. A lot of us have been in similar situations, such as either a fast food restaurant or any type of scenario like this, where the room is extremely small, very confined. Now, this is the video footage, the surveillance of it here. Okay, it's very grainy. Okay, I understand. I mean, some surveillance cameras are not the best in the world, but it's still grainy. But I want you, as he talks, pay attention to this and pick out the mistakes that concealed carrier right there took those shots. Pick out how many mistakes he does here. Keep watching.
Because I haven't been able to find a news story on this one, I don't know what the outcome is, if any of the bad guys were hit. Doesn't look like anyone was hurt that wasn't a bad guy at any rate, and that is where this one ends. Scary stuff, and we're going to have a talk about whether his actions were justified. I do have a question for you out of this one. What's the worst myth that you have heard about firearms told out in the culture or among your friends and family? Put it in a comment. I want to see what the crazy myths people deal with are. So let's start off with that. I think it's absolutely laudable to carry a concealed firearm on your person. I think that any American that wants to carry a concealed firearm on their person, if they're not a prohibited possessor, should absolutely be able to do so, and that there should not be any training requirement from the government to do so. However, I do think that it is our responsibility to be safe and effective with our firearms, to know what we can do, and to train to a high standard ourselves, because otherwise we will miss our turn. So having a firearm on your person, really good, but not helpful on its own. You got to be ready with it. Now, the armed robbery is going to start here and get going, and our good guy, our concealed carrier's first opportunity is right here. Notice that he is a bystander at this point, and they're not pointing at him, they're not looking at him. He is off in the corner. So if he was kind of ready to go, this would probably be his best bet to get a counter ambush.
Whoa, right there. Now, I'm going to stop and disagree with him on this point, okay? Why this is not a good opportunity. Even if he was switched on and he saw these guys coming into the store, coming through the door, through the glass, watch them come in and come to the store. Because it moves so fast, this would not be a very good situation. Why is that? I'm going to show you. This is why it is not, okay? He has here, let me show you here. From his line of sight right here, okay? As he sees, he's got a line of sight on these guys coming in the door. All right. We see that. All right. If you guys can see my arrow right there that I just put on the screen. Yes, you've got a line of sight, clean as day. But the problem is this is the problem right here. You've got an innocent bystander sitting in a table in proximity of his line of sight. There's someone sitting there. That will not be a good shot, especially as fast as they are coming in this door. Okay, that is not good. Okay, so you do not take an opportunity such as that. Be situationally aware of your surroundings and who's there in this room with you and how many. Okay, that's not good. So let's continue.
So one of the things that we say in an armed robbery is you have to wait your turn and you have to take your turn. And this was probably his first turn. Now, he would have to be pretty switched on to see these guys come in, see one of them has a gun, and then instantly flip the switch to go button. But, okay, let's just say he didn't. Now they're going to just stroll past him to where these bad guys are back behind. Now, you notice here that what he's got is he's got his hands up. Hey, man, I don't want any problems. So he knows that this is an armed robbery, knows what's going down, and he is looking at the grab man here. That grab man has his hand out in front of him and a bag in his other hand. He does not have a gun on him. So I know somebody's going to ask, could he have shot that bag man right there? The answer to that is usually yes, because they're operating in concert. These armed robbers are operating in concert. They are equal deadly threats in the eyes of the law. So you could definitely take that bag man out if you wanted to. However, if you go that route, notice that the gunman is still a threat, and he is an unknown because you don't know where he is right
now. I got to pause him again, okay? Because of that situation, let's back this up. Where was he here? Let's back this up. Right here. All right, let's back this up. Him saying to take the shot, still not a good opportunity to take the shot. Things are moving too fast in this confined area, and you still have, once again, you still got innocent bystanders here. These two right here, the woman that you saw on her cell phone, the gentleman right here at the counter, whether he was placing an order or something like that, he is still in proximity of his line of fire here at the bag man, okay? This is still not a good opportunity to take this shot. Yes, they are working in cohorts with together, but the thing is this is not a good opportunity. It's not an opportune time to make that shot yet. I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to show you about the best opportune time that he does, but he makes mistakes. So let's continue.
Notice that the gunman is still a threat, and he is an unknown because you don't know where he is right now. So maybe a better idea to wait in that moment if you can. Here is another great opportunity to counter ambush.
No, it is not. It is not, John. I'm sorry. I have to disagree. This is not. Why is this not a best time to counter ambush these two? Once again, you've got too many obstructions. For one, here, let me point them out. Okay. First, you've got a monitor here, which looks like a monitor here. I believe it's on the other side of the counter. Here's another one. Here's the one here on the inside of the counter side here. There's the other one. There's four. All right. Now, for him to even make a shot, a straight shot here, or even one at the bad guy here, the bag man, okay, tell me exactly how accurate do you have to be? You have to be pretty damn accurate because right now you are looking at shoulder and head shots, okay? Shoulder and head shots are very, very difficult, even if this is 15 feet away, 15, 20 feet away, with that much movement. That's just one. It's just an example such as this right here. Here's some more I'm going to point out to you again. Look at this right here. What's the other problem here? Here's the other problem. You've got these two right here, the two employees that are sitting in proximity right next to him. They are within what, 2.5 feet, 3 at the most. Okay, these two from the man with the rifle, with the gun. Okay, this is still not an opportune time. Depending on if you're carrying self-defense rounds, which are hollow points, hydroshocks, we know this. Okay, understand the situation and the ballistics of how hollow point bullets work. All right. If it was FMJ would cut through these obstacles here. They would easily cut through these obstacles. I suggest you never carry FMJ in your self-defense round, okay? Or your firearm. Never. You always use self-defense rounds. Hollow points, hydroshocks. That's what you use, self-defense rounds. That being said, that makes it difficult for said bullets to be effective. Will it penetrate this stuff? Yes, it'll penetrate this stuff. Okay. How effective is it if it hits the subject, if it hits the suspects here? How effective is it? Okay. If you crush that hollow point, or if it catches a certain way and it expands too soon, how effective is this? Is it effective? It diminishes the effect quite a bit if it starts to spread, and then if it cuts through these obstructions right here, if it cuts through this stuff, then that's a problem. Not only that, if he misses, if he hits low. Now, if he misses or hits low, guess what else? These are encounters. Look at this. This is a cash register here. Let me put this back up, man. Let me bring this up here. You got so much stuff right here. So many obstacles here trying to make an effective shot. Even at close range, you got to take a shoulder to head shot. Heads are moving around too much. That's why I always say shoot center mass, because the center mass, the torso, is the slowest moving portion of the body. There it is. That's the slowest moving section of a body. Arms, legs, heads, they move too quick, too much, too fast. They frail. It's very hard to hit those areas right there to be effective, even with the headshot. Okay, because the head still bobs and moves, but the torso is the most stationary section of your entire body. Trying to do a torso shot from here like this, that is very hard. And like I said, you've got counter, you've got monitors, you've got cash register, you got too much stuff in the damn way. That's still not an opportune time to take that shot. So let's continue.
One of the things that we say is you've got to wait your turn, but then you have to take your turn. And when your turn is when their eyes are not on you and you can get your gun out and in the fight. But of course, his problem with his gun, that you know now because you already watched it, is the fact that it's not chambered. And the sound of chambering a firearm is so incredibly distinctive that he would lose his opportunity to have a surprise counter ambush, because they're going to get a half to a 3/4 of a second warning that he has a gun in the fight.
This is true.
So it ruins his opportunity for counter ambush here and makes him hesitant to take his turn. Now, I get that. This is one of the reasons that I say carrying a chambered firearm is the way to go, because it gives you a much better opportunity to launch a counter ambush without warning these bad guys. Now then, they have their attention on him.
Right here, I'm going to pause it right here, okay? Now, just what John said, because this dude doesn't have his weapon chambered, that's a problem. It's a huge problem. He is missing his opportune moment here. From this point here, the bag man is up here approaching them. The man with the rifle, he's coming around the counter. Now that he's clear from obstruction, because no longer is there obstruction as far as his line of fire, all of this stuff is no longer, it's not in his way anymore, okay? None of that. This right here, now he's got Oh,
Now, okay, fine, until they don't.
hold on. Hold on. He's got, come on. Pop back up.
Don't recognize he put some stuff down in front of him and said, here it is, guys. And now he has an absolute.
I got to do something about my. Let me do something. I got to do something with my shortcuts. I got to kill my shortcut tab over here on this browser. It's in the way. So you got the bad guy here. Now you've got the guy here with the rifle. Okay. Let me back this up just a shade. Let me back this up just a touch here. I'm going to back this up. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to back this up just a shade here. Back this up to his opportune moment. Okay, the bad guy's coming out. Okay.
Now then, they have their attention on him now.
Right there. Okay. Like I said, he's clear from obstruction at this point. Therefore, if he was ready, turned on, could pop him, he could pop him. Which one would you take? I ask my students this, which shot would you take? Would you take the guy with the rifle first, the bad guy first? Okay. I'm going to also explain something else here too, of not just situational awareness, but being aware of the equipment that's being used here. Okay. So.
Okay, fine, until they don't recognize he put some stuff down in front of him and said, here it is, guys. And now he has an absolute great angle between the two of them, right? He's got them stacked one behind the other and nobody else around. Now, of course, we don't know what the backstop is in the wall, on the other side of the wall.
Which is true. John making this point, I make the same point as well. Understanding the situation in the room, what you're dealing with. You don't know how thick this wall is, okay? Is a bullet going to penetrate this? Is this a wall to, and there's a back room to the other side of it or something like that, a storage area, whatever, who knows? Okay, unless you know the actual interior structure of the building and how it's designed and what's back there is the only way we know. I assume that he has no clue what the hell is back here. So you, me, anybody else looking at this thing, I would say the same thing. I have no clue what the hell is back there. So understanding, is a bullet going to stop here in the wall or is it going to penetrate or cut through? That's something's kind of, you've got to ask yourself ahead of time here. Basically, you got to ask yourself ahead of time, how are you going to handle this? And this doesn't take a whole lot of thought, I mean, you could look at something when you come into a room, it only takes seconds to assess your surroundings or what's around you, people that's in it, everything else, building, counter, everything that's involved. You play the scenarios out through your head, and with seconds, you can come up with some type of reaction or an answer for a reaction that you might have to make if something like this unfolds.
That he is looking at. However, this was a great counter ambush opportunity if he was fast with his gun. If he has about a 1.5 second draw to first shot here, the gunman who's in back will not be able to see him through the grab man, and he could smoke both those guys without too much issue, but you better be good with your gun. Now, again, he's just going to leave him, okay, fine, and this is his decision point. Now, he makes the decision right here. I'm going to draw and shoot these guys.
Let me back this up again, because, man, this is the an unbelievable point of where he missed his opportunity. I ask my students, what's the best opportune time in order to handle this situation? I would say myself right now, close proximity with these two right now. Why is that? If his gun was chambered, he was ready to go, and he was prepping his draw. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about prepping your draw, because I talk about this constantly, and I tell my students constantly, if you have a way to prep your draw, okay? But you prep it in a way where you're being inconspicuous about it too, all right? There is a way to cut off fractions of a second in order for you to get your weapon clear, presentation, press the trigger right on the subject, okay? On the threats. So he misses his opportunity. For one, he's not chambered, so he has no round in the chamber ready to go. Mistake number one, okay? Mistake number two, he misses his opportunity. Why do I say his opportunity is right here? This is why, because these guys are distracted by right here, what's on the table. Everybody's unloading wallets, whatever, money, cash, or something like that, and they're distracted grabbing whatever's off this table. Okay. There's this opportunity. He can pop, if he was ready to go, he could pop both of them right now. And that means he could drop 4 shots within 3 seconds. Okay. Easily with 2 seconds. If he was locked, ready to go from draw, presentation, and then engaging both these targets right here, these threats, he could drop them pretty quick because they're distracted. All right. Here's another thing too here. Let him talk a little bit more here.
And he's just going to leave him. Okay, fine. And this is his decision point. Now, he makes the decision right here. I'm going to draw and shoot these guys. And I got to ask the question, and a lot of people are asking the question, is this justified in the moment? Are these guys still an imminent deadly threat to him and to his? I think the answer to that is yes. They're threatening everyone with guns still. They've not made an escape yet. They're about to make an escape, but he doesn't know where they're going at this point. All he knows is they pointed guns at him and everyone else and are a deadly threat. So it's okay at this point, I think, for him to get his gun out and go to work.
Right.
But notice it.
But it depends on the state. That's the other thing too. It depends on the state that you're in. Depends on if he could legally make this move now when they are exiting this building. Okay. Such states as my state here of Ohio, Texas, other states that have adopted the castle doctrine as well. Yes. I'm not saying this as a legal point. I'm just saying it as the way the castle doctrine is written and how it is stated. Yes, you could. At this point, you still could. Some states who don't adopt it, who haven't adopted it to their as far as concealed carry or just in self-defense alone, you might run into an issue because they are exiting the establishment. So they might not deem that as a threat if they're leaving. Under the castle doctrine, once they come in with such weapons or anything, pointing them at everyone, they are deemed a threat no matter whether they're leaving and coming in and leaving, running out, whatever, doesn't matter. I mean, it's all off the table at that point.
A couple things here. Number one, he like futzes with his clear garment and that sets his pistol mounted light off. That tells me that he's probably carrying substandard gear and suboptimal gear. Don't recommend that stuff because problems like this happen and now you got a pistol mounted light you're not ready for. And
let me pause it. He's right about that too. You guys heard me say that as well. I say this to my students. I say this to people I talk to. Make sure your gear is up to snuff. And that means your gear is just as important as your concealed carry weapon. It is just as important. If you've got however much money you have invested into your concealed carry weapon, it could be whatever, okay? Whatever you want to spend on it, that's fine. Make sure that your gear that you wrap around that weapon is extremely good gear, okay? Because it does make a difference. You know, you could have $900 or $1,000 wrapped up in a concealed carry gun. But if you got it wrapped in $30 worth of gear, how effective is it? The gun is effective, but how effective is everything else that pertains to it? That means your draw, your carry, everything else. It starts from that point. Once you start from the beginning all the way to presentation and pressing that trigger, if you got an issue with gear, such as him, okay, activating his tactical light on his weapon, which your gear should not activate that light. And I'm going to explain why here.
He has to chamber his gun. Now, that chambering of the gun took up about 3/4 of a second, maybe a little bit less than that, 0.6 to 3/4 of a second. And that cost him everything. Because again, now in this moment, he's made that decision. I got to chamber that gun and get up. Is he still justified to use deadly force? I think he still is. I don't think there's any problems with that, but it's taking him a lot longer because of chambering a gun that now that takes him time. And so his first shot is absolutely unaimed fire. Exactly. That is one of my big problems.
That's right. As you see the muzzle flash right here. Here's the muzzle flash. Yes. There's his muzzle flash right here. Look at his arm. His arm isn't. God doggone it, man. It's doing it again. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I've definitely got to do something with my shortcuts here. My shortcuts are messing with me. I'll fix that on the next video. His arm's not totally extended at all. Okay, it's not extended to presentation. So. You're right. He's 100% is completely unaimed fire, which is another mistake.
is that chambering the gun, he knows he's behind the power curve. He knows that it's going to cost him more time. So that first shot breaks when that gun is way below his eye line. Now, because of that, that makes that shot, in my opinion, borderline reckless. Now, of course, we always want to see our sights, and we're under high stress and those things. That's why you got to train yourself to a high standard, so that you're not just winging shots off at random, because those bullets are going to come to rest somewhere, and you're responsible for that. Now, his next one that's going off, the gun is finally up at eye level, so he is taking an aimed shot here. And these are happening so fast that we talk about from a justification perspective. Can a district attorney actually prove that what he did beyond a reasonable doubt was unreasonable? I doubt it in this particular case, which is why I would never expect criminal charges to be filed. Civil charges would have to either come from the bad guys who said he acted recklessly, which they're not coming forward, or if he misses and hits someone, they would have to say that. And again, I don't know that he did, so I think he's okay. Now, his splits here are pretty darn quick. He's shooting that gun about as fast as he can possibly pull the trigger. So that means he's probably not getting a great sight picture, especially because he probably doesn't train with that pistol-mounted light much. A couple things I do want to say here. He has now fired a shot through the glass. Once they have left the premises, I think you're starting to get to a place where it starts to be less reasonable that his shots are defending life and are rather being punitive in nature. The other thing here is that plate glass does weird stuff to bullets, guys. I don't recommend shooting through it unless you have to defend your life.
Right.
So now you notice here as well, he's still shooting. Now he's shooting from his right to his left. Couple of things to really note here. Number one, he has activated that pistol mounted light, whatever kind of cheap one it is, because again, it activated while it's still in the holster and all those things. However, I do want you to recognize most people have not ever tried to shine a pistol mounted light through a pane of glass in a non a dark environment like this, and it can really wreak havoc on your ability to see through that glass.
Exactly.
So again, doing some work, if you're going to carry a pistol mounted light, doing some work in class with it so you understand what it's going to do is important. And again, he is moving left to right here and taking very fast shots at somebody who is, again, behind and beyond him. At some point, you got to stop, guys. At some point, you got to keep thinking and recognize that your goal is to defend life. They are running off. You got to let them go.
And there's another reason why. Let me stop right here. When you get to this point, as I said, for situational awareness, you have got to understand, stop right there, knowing where the door is, knowing that there's a glass window with a few panes of glass, understanding, yes, bullets traveling through solid panes of glass does weird stuff. It will not keep its same trajectory as it comes out of that barrel, hitting a flat pane of glass, okay? And it's 100% unpredictable. You cannot predict which way it will veer. Once it penetrates that glass, it will veer somewhere else. It's not going to keep the same trajectory on a solid sheet of glass, okay? Understand that. So that glass is solid. Two, with that light being activated, shattering that glass, there is absolutely no way he can see on the other side of that glass who's out in that parking lot out there. Okay, there's just no way. So, not only that, as I said, you're responsible for every single bullet that comes out of your gun. If he had a stray bullet, if it veered, didn't keep its trajectory, which it won't on a plain, pane of glass, solid sheet of glass. Keep trying to say pane of glass, keep getting it twisted up here. On a solid sheet of glass such as that, it's not going to keep the same trajectory. So if that bullet veers and hits someone in that parking lot that doesn't understand, it doesn't see any of the situation going on at all, guess who's responsible for that? Guess whose ass it's going to be? It's going to be his ass, okay? That's why you got to understand the only reason why you should ever shoot through a solid sheet of glass such as that, a window or anything, is to, if you have no choice but to shoot and save your own life or save your family's life or something, because somebody's possibly trying to shoot in the place, you're exchanging fire or something else like that. But you have to understand the situation. If you're shooting inside to try to save someone, I mean, that's a different deal. But from the inside, shooting out into a parking lot out there, just don't do that at all. Not through a solid sheet of glass. You got to stop. You got to know where to stop shooting. So major mistake here he's making.
And in that particular instance, that's fine. You've won the fight anyways, because they've left and are gone without hurting you and without hurting yours. Now you notice that our bad guy's moving right to left here, and you are very quickly going to run out of real estate. So running, knowing how to hit a moving target, very important at that point. Now, I do want you to notice our post actions here. Notice that our defender, our CCW guy, now has his gun pointed up to his side and just kind of winging it around in the neighborhood there, out the front door, because these guys have run off. So he's just pointing his gun, kind of looking at it as he's looking down and pointing it off somewhere. Guys, you got to practice safe firearms handling.
Yes.
You got to recognize that's still a deadly tool in your hand, and you have to point it in a safe direction. Always, always, always. That's a rule for life. We're going to see him do that again another time. So when we talk about this particular one, what I really want to say is, number one, keep your firearm ready to go. Because of the fact that he didn't have a chambered firearm, his counter ambush was much, much, much more difficult, and he did not take his turn, didn't take the good turn.
Here, now hold on. I'm going to stop because this video is almost done. It's right here at the end. As you see this individual walking here, let me back this up. Let me back this up right here. Pay attention. As he's walking.
Because of the fact that he didn't have a chambered firearm.
Okay, what's the mistake he's making still? Here's another mistake he's making. For one, just because they ran off out of the building, don't just automatically assume that they're gone, okay? It still hasn't played out. You never know. Criminals could get bold. They could say, hey, there's witnesses in here, especially if somebody would have gotten shot or hurt or injured or something like that. They could turn around and come back and still just possibly either shoot wildly into the building, shoot from the glass and shoot in, okay? Don't just assume that they're gone. What he should have done was basically come back, tuck it in a retention position, high and tight in retention, back up, watch the surroundings and back up and watch that door, watch the entrance, watch the glass. If he can see through it, it's kind of hard because he shot through it and shattered it. So, but you still could possibly see shadows on the other side. It doesn't matter. But you walk and back yourself away from that door, back in with a high and tight retention, okay, and creating space away from the entrance, away from the glass, okay. Tell them to get on the horn, call 911, everything else, and you wait. You wait for a little bit, okay. It's just not saying it's automatically assume that it's over, because it may not be. All right.
His counter ambush was much, much, much more difficult, and he did not take his turn. Didn't take the good turns that he had, and ended up taking a poor turn. It also made his first shot really unreliable because he knew he was behind. The power curve would be my guess, and created significant problems for him. Let's also make sure that we vet our gear. Don't carry suboptimal gear. Carry the good stuff if you possibly can.
That's right. That's right. That's it. That's towards the end of the video right there. So let me bring this back here. Like I said, guys, there are so many mistakes that he made in this, okay? And on top of that, understanding real quick in this video, but understand the situation, understand what you have, and understand the situation, how it unfolded. First of all, the man that came in robbing the place had a gun, yes. What type of gun was it? It was a rifled barrel. A scoped barrel. A scoped rifle. Good Lord, I got so much technical stuff on my mind today because I'm thinking about my new EDC that I'm getting ready to put together here. Somehow I got this thing trying to spit it out. Sorry. What he came in to rob the place with was a scoped rifle. Now, okay, here, understand the tool. Is it deadly? Yes, absolutely. It's still a firearm. Is it dangerous? Absolutely. It's still a firearm. Okay. The effectiveness of it now becomes a different issue. How effective is that weapon? Okay, you're in a tight room. All right, back this up. Let me back this up here, all the way back here. I'm gonna back and show this and pop this out right here, right there, right there. Here we go. That's that rifle. You guys see it? Okay, let me swing this over and change the view. Right here, okay? That's what you're looking at. That's the situation. He has a scoped rifle inside a room that is designed really that would give the best advantage to a handgun. Why do I say it would give the best advantage to a handgun? Because handguns are close quarter weapons. They are a close quarter weapon. This whole room is extremely close quarter. Okay. The probably the longest stretch of this entire room from where the camera is looking all the way to the farthest corner of this place could probably be about 30 feet. So, I mean, that's about the extent, possibly 30 feet is what I'm looking at. I'd say probably about, yeah, about 25, 30 feet, maybe. And that's a stretch. Okay. Now, if he was shooting that rifle at distance because that's what it's designed for, he would have the advantage all day long versus a pistol. But because it's in this room, the man with the gun here who's not chambered, carrying his concealed weapon, his handgun, he has the advantage. The problem is he was not prepared. He was not ready for the situation. And this is where he made his mistake. And this is why always carry a chambered weapon. When you are carrying your weapon, make sure there is a round and chamber ready to go. Always, always, always. Okay. Missed opportunity there. Plenty of missed opportunities here because from the time they cleared around this counter all the way up to where they were grabbing loot off the table, that was 9 seconds. That's a 9-second difference. You had 9 seconds to take 2 people out. Okay. 9 seconds. It's missed opportunity, man. Missed. Unbelievable. Like I said, guys, hey, same thing. Same thing John says, I agree. Make sure you carry optimal gear. Your gear is just as important as your firearm. It's just as important. Don't skimp on it. Make sure you get a really good gun belt. Make sure you have a really, really good holster. There's a ton of them out there. Some are better than others. You know what I'm a fan of, and the ones I rock all the time, okay? Until I get another company to send me another one to try it out. We the People, I would love to try We the People holster. You know, if they see this video and would love to send me out one, you know, for my new EDC. It's a Glock 43X MOS. And it's going to be a light bearer too. I'm carrying a light with it on this time. So changed it up from my old one here, doing a new one here. It's going to be my new carry. But like I said, I'm going to carry a light too on mine, attack light. Also, make sure you got good gear that it goes in. All right. But don't make that mistake. If you got a lot out of this video, you know the whole deal, guys. You've been here. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate the like, the whole deal. Comment, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. What else did you notice out of this? And were these the things that I pointed out, were they good situational awareness for opportunities, the missed opportunity and the best opportunities in this video? Check out John Carrera's channel. Check out Active Self-Protection, man. It's a great, great channel. He's got some really good stuff on there. Like I said, I use them for my class as well. So sorry how to drag this out, but this is how I break it down and teach it to my students as well. So it'll drag out for going on here almost 40 minutes, but I have to back this thing up and point these things out and expound on top of what John is also talking. There's some things I agree with him about. Yeah. You also notice some things I disagreed with him too. Wait your turn. Know your turn. Okay. Then take your turn. There are opportunities there that he did not have the opportunity to take his turn. There was too much at stake. Too many people close in proximity to make a mistake. Okay. Make sure when you have the opportune time to take it, you got to see it and take it right now. Guys, train, practice, and keep me in mind with that as well. If you like it, I appreciate you so much. You know, so anyway, that's what I'm saying here on this end of it, guys. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate everything like that. Until the next time I'll see that, don't forget to watch that post up here. Check out these videos coming up, man. And I will see you on the next one. And make sure that you always remember you are responsible for your own safety.